Okay, folks, welcome to Equibee's FPV. Today we're going to change the diff grease in the Redcat Gen 8 Axe Edition. The reason for this video is because I haven't seen a whole lot on the Gen 8 Axe. And I'm very new at this, but I do know that I need marine grease to be able to handle water in extremes. And having watched other videos, I've noticed that there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of grease when other people have shown the insides of this. So without further ado, first thing we got to do is get at the differential as much as we're going to. Remove the rear diff cover. I've already done this on the front diff. It can be done without removing the front tie bar. You just have to have the steering pointed forward. But in this case, we're going to do the rear one, which should be, I'm hoping, even easier. The first one wasn't hard. You'll have to forgive the amateur nature of the video, as I'm new to this, making videos. I'm not new to dropping screws though. Don't worry. I've got a magnet. It's not the first RC I've worked on. Thankful to say, for my first RC crawler, this unit has been wonderful. It's been everything advertised. Metal gears. This is a metal diff cover. I mean, there's obviously plastic parts, but it's metal where it should be, in my opinion. And the electronics are wonderful. Oh, sorry guys. Hang tight. Alright. So there's our diff cover. If you look inside here, you'll see there's not huge amounts of grease in here. In fact, that's pretty much mostly dry. A little bit of grease there. Same inside here. There's a little bit of grease running here, but I'm not seeing any in the teeth. I'm not seeing any on the back side of this bearing over here. I'm not seeing a whole lot around this bearing either. So we are going to remove the old grease. Nothing wrong with it, I'm sure, but we're going to remove it and put in new. So the first thing I do is use a rag. Excuse me. First thing I do is use a rag and just remove as much of the old roughly as I can. Spinning the wheels will get some of the old grease off. You can see some of it, well, maybe you can't, but I can, tucked in right underneath here. Just going to remove some of that with a pair of tweezers or whatever. Again, this is just the first rough excess grease removal. I'll get down to cleaning it all up nice all around the cover, turning it both ways. I apologize for that sound you're hearing. It's just one of my wheels rubbing against something on my bench. It's nothing wrong with the unit. This unit is almost brand new. I just bought it a little while ago. I'm doing this more for preventative future maintenance, which I've heard is fairly important on any of these 1/10 RC crawlers. Now that I've gotten started, I'm going to use a bunch of these dollar store. Aren't these the weirdest Q-tips you've ever seen in your life? That's how they came too. The whole works of them. But they're fine for what I'm doing, which is just removing, again, all the excess grease. Use what you got. All that coming off, working quite well. Move you over so you can see it a bit, or move me over. See it a bit better. Alright, it's getting pretty close. I don't think it's really important. I don't think the two greases won't get along. I just think it's more important to get as much of the good grease as you can in there. Same way, I'm just going to take the diff cover, move the excess, and then same idea, just use these more for the corners and edges and all that. May as well get it all cleaned up while I got it open. Also might be getting rid of any micro metal bits that are actually in there. Right? All good. Now, take my marine grease. What I'm using is a high performance marine grease that I got at Canadian Tire, Mystic, whatever, JT6. I was told this will work really well for this situation. I'm going to use it, fill up my diff cup, not fill it, but put enough in there where if any water gets in, it's not going to be welcome. Okay, kind of all around, a little thicker. Sorry guys, didn't mean to get you bouncing. A little thicker where the gear is going to run, much thinner where the bearings run. I don't know how much any of this matters, but again, I'm new. I look at this in a mechanical way. Alright, we're going to have so much grease floating around in here, it shouldn't really matter. I don't want it to be pressurized. That takes care of that part. Now, I'll put that aside. Wipe off my hands a bit. Get another gob of grease. And let's get it into this differential. This tends to use a little more from what I found from the front one. Sorry, I just knocked you for a little bounce again. What I'm going to do is kind of use the popsicle stick to jam it all around. Really want it around those bearings and on these teeth. Get another gob of grease. Keeps the bad stuff away. Give it another turn. Also, I do not want to forget the back side here where this bearing sits. So, as you can see, have quite a bit more grease going on in here now than was going on before. Isn't a lot of room for water to start getting in the way or start causing its fun and games. That being done, take care of the rest of the grease. Alright, so as you can see when we turn the wheels here, you got grease that's kind of floating around all over, which is wonderful. We're now going to take our diff cover right here. Squish it on, let all the excess kind of squish out. See what I mean? Get it all lined up. Get our trusty rag. Give it a wipe. Before we get started screwing it on. And back to the 1.5 and the bolts. Now, just for me, I'm the type that likes to do my bolts across from each other. So I'm going to do here, 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 here. I'm going to kind of do them in a pattern where they cross from one another, just from what I've learned. Oh, sorry guys. Didn't mean to bump you or get in the way. This may be, oh, there it goes. Was out of alignment a bit. This diff housing is just plastic, so I wouldn't suggest torquing these down really, really hard. You're more than likely just going to strip the plastic. It's probably not going to seal any better, even cranking these down super hard. Now, for right now, I'm just kind of finger tight, not going crazy at all. That's it. Here's the next one. You can see a little bit more squishing out every time I turn a new one in, even though I'm not turning them down. Let's get you a little bit better light on what's going on here. Does that help? Probably didn't hurt. Okay. Oh, if anybody has anything to say about my, broken, busted nails and scarred up hands and all that, I work for a living. So do a lot of you. Anybody else? I don't do manicures. I'm a man. My hands are clean, except when they're covered in grease, and even then I consider them pretty clean. Oh, now we have to find that lost bolt. Stealing your light. Move over 'cause you're standing in my light. Move over 'cause you're standing in my light. There it is. Okay. Light's back, I'm back. Still looking good. Need my trusty 1.5 for bolt number 6. There we go. Bolt number 6 I'm going to tighten down. And again, don't have to go crazy. Going to cross mitt as I tighten down. Okay, all looking good. Take my greasy old rag, wipe some of this excess off. So far so good. Take some of my cheapo Q-tips. Give everybody another once over here. Quick little wipe, get the rest of it. Back side of the screws, because I've usually kicked out a little bit of grease on the back side. Reaching underneath and behind on the hard to reach areas, because I've heard that's what the pros do. Alright, very shiny. Still one spot I haven't gotten yet. That is beside that screw, because it's really tight in there. So, stuff like that. Clean toothbrush head. Press the worst out. Wipe it off. There we go. Nice and clean. I mean, it may not be Martha Stewart, but this is in the kitchen. Alright. Everything turns good. Now, of course, can't really feel any difference at all turning this to turning it before. And probably shouldn't feel much difference. Maybe a little more resistance because there's more grease getting in the way there. I would expect some to push out. Sorry guys, bumped you. I would expect some grease to push out on either side over here, and perhaps by the drive shaft near the front here. But if it happens, not a big deal. All that grease will not be washed away by water. Anyway, this is my Gen 8 Axe video. Hope you all enjoyed it. There will be another one on how to do the portal gears coming up on exactly that portal gear, because I've done the other three. Hope you're all having a good time, staying safe, and not hating on anybody. Alright, take care. Bye now.